So in this video, we're going to dive into two players who I believe will tell us exactly the type of West Ham United Nuno Espírito Santo is looking to build. One of them is Sorba Thomas, Stoke City standout winger, Wales international, former West Ham Academy lad, and a boy from Barking who's fought his way back from non-league football all the way to the top of the Championship. And the other is Mory Gbane, a 6'2" Ivorian midfield enforcer with 190 senior appearances across 5 countries, a £3.4 million market value from according to Transfer Market. Yes, I've converted it to pound sterling, and a reputation for playing every match like it's a street fight. These are two players with two very different profiles. However, there's one clear underlying message, and that is that Nuno wants intensity, versatility, and players with real character. And we're going to get stuck into it. However, if you appreciate the content that we're kicking out on the West Ham Massive, if you could just drop a like on the stream, that would be much appreciated. And if you've got hype as well, please feel free to donate that. Get your comments in the section below. I'll get a response into as many of them as possible. Why not consider sharing this onto your social media platforms? And last but by no means least, if you're not already subscribed to the West Ham Massive, in the top left-hand corner, I'd like to draw your attention to a QR code. If you get out your mobile device and scan that, it will take you to our YouTube subscription page. Rest assured that subscribing to the channel is free of charge, data safe, and it only takes a couple of seconds of your time, and it grows the channel into something bigger and better than it is right now. And we thank you very much indeed for your support. So let's get back on to Sorba Thomas, who's the boy, the Barking boy, who refused to quit. A genuine rags to riches tale, a rocky story. It's really quite heartwarming. As I say, he was born in Barking, so he's a proper local lad. Joined the West Ham United Academy, spent 4 years there until 2016, when he was released at 17 years of age. Now, most players disappear at that point. Well, he didn't. He grinded and started the comeback trail. He went to Boreham Wood and worked some normal jobs while playing non-league football. And this is someone who's grafted for everything. Scaffolding, retail, whatever it took. And that mentality is exactly what Nuno wants in this rebuild. Then comes the rise. Huddersfield signed him in 2021 and he exploded. Assists, goals, Player of the Month awards, and then he helped them to the playoff final. Then came loans to both Blackburn Rovers and League One Nantes. Then he gets to breakthrough to Stoke, where he got signed in 2025 for an undisclosed fee. Now, although no official number has ever been released in terms of the transfer fee, what we can say is that his performances since have skyrocketed his value. And by 2026, he was their player of the season, earning a spot in the Championship team of the season. Now, Transfer Market currently values him at £11.8 million in terms of his transfer value. Obviously, real life values could be quite different. He's 27 years of age. He's 6'1" tall. And the positions he can be deployed across are left wing, right wing, and centre forward. He's contracted at Stoke until 2028, and he has 27 caps for Wales with 2 goals. Now, that's not hype. That's a peak age winger performing at a top Championship level. Now, the reason why Nuno wants him is that Thomas is a right footer who can play on both wings. He's a pressing machine, he's a runner, and he's a creator. He's also a set-piece threat and a player who can also fill in, as I say, at centre forward. So there's a great deal of versatility. He's what you would call a tactical Swiss Army knife. And in the Championship, versatility is gold. Now, as far as the Summerville angle is concerned, West Ham see Thomas as either a partner to Summerville, if in the unlikely event that he actually stays, which I very much doubt, or, more likely, the replacement for Summerville if he should leave. Either way, Thomas fits Nuno's system perfectly. Now, as I say, he's a Barking boy, he's a former West Ham Academy kid, he's fought his way back, and now he's a Wales international. And at 27 years of age, he's in his prime, and he's ready for a step up. This is the story that fans can get behind. Now, in terms of Mory Gbane, this one's pure Nuno. So, he's 25 years of age, born on Christmas Day 2000. 6'2" tall, right-footed, and plays primarily as a defensive midfielder, and he has the ability to fill in at centre-back. Now, his career path is actually quite interesting, and it's perfect for Nuno's mentality monster rebuild. He's played in the Ivory Coast, he's played in Croatia, he's played in Russia, he's played in Portugal, and now he's played in France. This is a player who's had to fight through multiple leagues, cultures, and styles of football. In terms of his numbers, on Transfer Market, it tells us that he's had 190 senior appearances, 10 goals, 3 assists. His market value is £3.4 million as far as Transfer Market is concerned. But in terms of his actual total career transfer fees, it totals £5.7 million. His contract at Rem, his current club, runs until 2029, and he has 2 caps for the Ivory Coast. This is not a kid. This is a fully developed, battle-tested midfielder. Now, he's aggressive, he's relentless, he's physical, he's a ball winner, he's a destroyer, he's a midfield bouncer. He's not a deep-lying playmaker, he's a disruptor. But as far as his discipline record's concerned, he picked up 15 yellow cards last season. That's not a midfielder. That's a man who wakes up every morning and chooses violence. Now, why does Nuno want him? Well, Nuno's rebuild is built on physicality, aggression, work rate, tactical discipline, players who can survive in the championship. This player ticks all those boxes. Now, he's not an Edson Alvarez, because he's not a Champions League level destroyer, but he is a disruptor who gives you presence, bite, and control. Now, as far as his role's concerned, he would be the midfield bouncer. He would be the one that sets the tone. He would be the one that makes sure nobody strolls through the middle of the park. And in a championship, you need at least one player who can terrify the opposition midfielder. Gbane is that guy. Now, what do these two signings tell us about Nuno? Well, these two targets aren't random. They're part of a blueprint, I believe. So let's look at versatility. Thomas can play in left wing, right wing, and centre forward positions, whereas Gbane can play in defensive midfield and centre back. They're adaptable players, which is exactly what Nuno wants. In terms of physicality, both of them are runners, both of them are pressers, and both of them are competitive players. And this is a squad that's being rebuilt for intensity. Championship readiness is another aspect of this. No, give him 6 months to adapt. These are players that can hit the ground running from the get-go. And in terms of their mentality, as I say, Thomas went from scaffolding to a winger valued at £11.8 million, and Gbane has fought through 5 leagues to reach France. So in terms of their mentality, they're quite strong. Now, should West Ham sign them? Well, let's be completely honest. Neither of these players are what you would call glamorous marquee signings. They're not going to break the internet anytime soon. But will they make West Ham better than what they are now? I suspect that they probably will. Because Thomas would give us width, work rate, and tactical flexibility, whereas Gbane would give us bite, aggression, and midfield control. And both of them would give Nuno exactly what he wants, which is players who will fit the system and not players who will force the system to change. Now, if West Ham manage to land both, then the squad becomes deeper, tougher, and more adaptable, which is exactly what you need in the Championship. Now, before you disappear, if you've appreciated this breakdown, if you could just drop a like on the stream, that would help to push this content out to places. Otherwise, it might not reach. And if you get your comments in the section below, I'll get stuck into as many of them as I possibly can. Why not consider sharing this to your social media platforms? Give us a hype if you've got one available as well. And if you're not already subscribed to the West Ham Massive, if I can draw your attention in the top left-hand corner to that QR code, you get out your mobile device and scan it, it will take you to our YouTube subscription page. And rest assured that if you subscribe to the channel, it's free of charge, data safe, and it only takes a couple of seconds of your time. It helps to grow the channel into something bigger than it as you find it. Appreciate your support for that, and we'll see you again soon. Come on, you Irons.